What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Truck L. Thank you guys for subscribing to my page. If you haven't yet, please do. I really appreciate it. And if you have, thank you. Don't forget the thumbs up after this video. So today was Landstar Safety Call, which is every third Thursday of the month. And today's topic was, of course, coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. So stay tuned to hear what they discuss on the phone call.
Yeah, it would qualify, but the best bet is to ask the agent that you booked the load for to make sure that is what the case is. And the other thing would be it would be a good idea to have a copy of the declaration with you, even though most roadside enforcement officers are fully aware of the declaration right now. But it's always good to have a copy of it with you, which you can find out on Landstar Online. There's a link to it.
So what does that allow me to do? To allow me to drive the load straight there, or is that what it's allowing? Or
What it does is it allows you to it alleviates the hours of service while you're under that load. So it's basically for emergency reasons. A lot of times states issue these declarations like when there's a hurricane or tornadoes or any kind of natural disaster, and it alleviates the hours of service. So you are permitted to exceed the hours of service, but like I said at the beginning, once you do deliver that load, then you're required to immediately take a 10-hour break.
okay, fantastic. I understand. Thank you. And about the cabs class, what's your thoughts on that?
Rocco?
Thanks, Mike. Drell, the current plan is we have not made any changes to our CADS class schedule. If that changes, we will announce those, and then as needed, we would apply some common sense exemptions to that. Does that make sense?
Yes, appreciate it, and thanks for thanks for doing a great job up there, and I'm glad to be working for Landstar at a time like this. So thank you.
Hey, how you doing? How's everybody going?
Hey, John, pretty good. How about you?
Oh, not bad. My question is, do you know of any facilities in the future that may be testing BCOs to find out if we have contracted the coronavirus, or is that still up in the air and nobody really knows nothing yet?
Hey, John, this is Joe. I think what they're doing is trying to prioritize those people, the first responders and nurses and healthcare people, and then it's really you've got to have symptoms and or been exposed in order to qualify. I don't think they're set up yet at the state level or otherwise to just have people check to check. You know what I mean? I don't think they're there yet. I think it's kind of on a priority system, as I understand it. But again, the CDC website would be your best bet to look at it from both a national and a state level.
Okay. All righty. I was just curious about that. I hadn't heard anything, and I heard they have drive-through testing in, certain states for, people in four-wheelers or whatever, but I didn't know if they had anything set up or even thinking about it in the future for us. So.
Yeah, I've not heard anything on a truck-specific basis either. But if there is something that gets announced or that we're aware of, again, we would put that out on Landstar Online quickly.
But even on those drive-throughs, you have to get your doctor's prescription before you show up. So if you find one, you need a doctor's prescription to direct you to go do that.
Oh, okay. All right. All righty, thanks. That's all I was wondering.
Thanks, John. Take care.
Take care, John.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, a lot of my questions have kind of been answered there, but instead of the rest areas, I think the priority ought to be, because we do go from state to state, unlike most people, and if we start getting mild symptoms, in my case, I have a little asthma, so I'm in one of the categories of person that it could be more serious for. shouldn't we try to get their attention and say that because of the nature of what we do going state to state that we could become spreaders? Because I can't see myself, if I can't get a test and I'm feeling some symptoms, for me shutting down for 2 weeks and then coming back and then not knowing, if I ever had it and I get myself more exposed to it in the future. So, I think it's kind of because of the nature of what we do, it should be at least considered, if you know what I mean. Hello?
Yeah, we agree with you. It's something that we could mention to the associations that we belong to, and they've got actually right now a lot of their conversations are occurring with FMCSA, not really with the CDC or anything like that. But yeah, that's definitely a consideration because without trucks, we know bad things will happen. So it's important that you guys stay healthy.
Look, the issue the issue the country's having right now is there aren't enough test kits to go around. That's why they're being very strict on who gets tested. You either had to have contact with someone who has it, or you are showing serious signs of having it. And that's why they haven't been able to roll out test kits to where they logically should be. But I know they're working on that.
Yeah, well, it seems to me that in my opinion, that's a huge failure. You watch these shows about what's going on in Korea, where my friend lives. He lives in the center part of the country, not in the south where it was really bad. And they can go up to any drive-through, just drive up there and get tested. And, we need to put pressure on them that if it's really have to prioritize it, then we need to consider, someone like a truck driver who's going from state to state. You can go into, say, a store or make a delivery somewhere in California, and next thing you know, you could be delivering in Oklahoma where maybe they don't have it as much or whatever. And you could go in there and you could become a spreader yourself. And because you can't get tested, and let's say you have no symptoms, like they say some people can spread it and they have no symptoms. So, I'd like to see, us to get a little higher in the priority to get tested. And I don't know if you can do anything about it, but I just thought I'd say that.
Yeah, appreciate the comments.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Okay. Take care. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon. I just had an issue with a receiver. I got there, and I gave them the paperwork, and they refused to sign it, and they told me, just keep the paperwork, and they didn't want to, sign it or date it or anything. So what do I do in that situation?
Hey, this is Candace Adams. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your
My name is Trucker L.
spoken with the agent just yet?
No.
Okay, so first recommendation is we would ask you to contact the agent, make sure they are fully up to date and aware of what instructions you are receiving from the receiver. If you and the agent are not able to come to any sort of resolution, please call in to customer service so we can document this and make sure that the freight is protected. Okay, we'll follow up later today, but definitely make sure you call out to the agent right away so they can be up to date.
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call. You've already mentioned it, and somebody else mentioned it about testing and whatnot. Rumor out here from other drivers that they're going to facilities that are requiring that we allow them, well, not us at LANDSTAR, but just drivers in general, allowing them to take our temperature and then let them to make the determination if they think that we have any symptoms, and then they either do or do not turn us away. These were drivers at FedEx that see LANDSTAR trucks at some of the same facilities they go to. Wasn't sure if you had heard anything about that or not. And my second question is, there's also been rumor about freight rates dropping because of all this that may seriously hurt us. I was wondering if you could speak to that. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael, we have heard that not a lot of instances of that, but I think, like my comments early on, I think customers are doing what they think is prudent in order to protect the facility where they work and the employees that work there. I would not be surprised if they have the means to do that. It does make some sense, and as long as they're doing it in a way that it doesn't have the potential to infect you, I would think that that might be something that we could live with.
Okay. And then on my second question?
Could you repeat it real quick?
My second question was, there's been I guess, rumor, but we know how truck drivers talk, but I was just wondering if you had heard or know anything of rumor or speculation that freight rates are dropping off because of this, because of, freight's falling off and freight rates are falling off. I was wondering if you had heard anything to that, if you could speak to that issue.
I have not noticed any systematic, precipitous drop in freight rates. I think what you might tend to see is the earlier gentleman said how the port closure, if there's some dramatic impact to a certain segment of our business that's impacted, I think you could see some movement around freight rates, but to this point I haven't seen any precipitous change one way or the other.
Okay. Well, you've answered my questions. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it and hope everybody stays safe out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Hello, Landstar. Appreciate all the help you're all giving us. Just wanted a quick question about, actually two, for the platform guys. If need be, will the paperwork be streamlined, say from pulling a Landstar platform to a van if need be, or will the rental agreements be null and voided at this time? The second question is, there's a lot of shippers and receivers that will not allow drivers into the buildings to relieve themselves if need be. Basically being told to their faces that we are subhuman. What is Landstar, or is Landstar actively working with our customers to put porta-johns in these facilities or something? I mean, after all, we are not subhuman. We are providing relief to all of them. So was just kind of curious to see what we as a Landstar family were doing with this.
Hey, Jeff, this is Matt Miller. On the platform side, if you wanted to flip or any platform BCO out there wanted to flip from a platform to a van, simply call into the trailer utilization department and we can accommodate picking up that platform and moving you over to a van.
Right, I was just curious, if being an emergency situation, if it was if need be, what the situation was there.
No, there's no onerous paperwork associated with flipping out of a platform to a van, so we can accommodate that, and don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we can help you get that taken care of.
All righty.
And on your second question, Jeff, as it relates to facilities, I think, it's a customer, maybe trying to go a little bit overboard. What I would encourage you to do is again, coordinate with the agent, make sure that they're aware of that, see if there's anything that they're in a position to do to change that, and certainly make the next guy aware of that. Just sometimes it just takes a little bit of working with people to get them to see the big picture. Much like the industry worked with Pennsylvania to get them to reverse the closure of rest areas, we'll do our best to work with customers to let them see the, kind of the inconvenience that they're creating, and we hope we can work it that way.
Well, and one more thing, and this is for the entire Landstar family. I come from a small town, and I get the sense that we as a Landstar family have that quote unquote small town common sense, and I appreciate the fact that we're all still using that and not panicking. So y'all have a good day. Appreciate the help. We look forward to talking to you again. Thanks.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hello, Landstar family. I'm currently here in Laredo waiting on a load to come across the border, and I've been hauling hazmat for the last couple of months, and I'm getting low on part of my personal protective equipment. I'm down to a respirator, but I do not have replacement filters for that respirator, and I was wondering if Landstar has any ideas of what I can do before I'm completely out. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Because we don't, obviously we don't provide any kind of filters for respirators. I don't know if we are aware of any. I'd have to ask our hazmat department if they're aware of anybody that might be able to provide you discounts or anything like that. But if you want to give me your truck number, I can have somebody reach out to you. But really, we don't, obviously we don't have any respirator filters that we would keep on hand. So what's your truck?
It's not necessarily that. I sweep out my trailer quite a bit after these hazmat loads, and I've used up all my particulate filter masks. And I thought maybe I've been trying to find them everywhere I go. They're out of them, and I'm just wanting to know if there's some type of substitute I can use, because I want to continue to work. I don't want to let that be the reason that I'm not working because I've run out, but I do want to protect myself and others.
I see. You're just talking about like the masks, the
yes,
the masks.
Yes. I have everything else.
Yeah, they're tough to get right now, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right. Well, that.
I don't know where to send you for those, because everybody's looking for those right now.
Yeah, I know. I've been using them a lot because I sweep out my trailer pretty often, and I try to keep a good supply, but it's sort of running thin now, and I'm down to a respirator. I haven't used it yet, but I'm just, hoping that maybe I can get some before it gets too late. That's all. But I do appreciate it. Now, thanks for the information. A lot of my questions were answered by previous drivers. So thank you all very much.
Great. Thanks for calling, Gino.
Okay, yeah, my question is, if they were to shut everything down, who's to say they're talking about maybe it might be worse? Would we be able to go home if they shut everything down or lock everything down because of this?
You mean shutting down like interstate and highway infrastructure?
Yeah, because they were talking about state to state, like what they were doing maybe in Italy or some other countries. I mean, I don't know if that's possible for them to do that here, but
I don't think it's really solves a great deal. I would not anticipate that. I've not heard that. I think they're encouraging people to go home if they feel the need to do that. So I would like to believe they wouldn't inhibit that if it needed to happen. But that would really create some strain on the nation. So I haven't heard that, but if that starts to happen, we'll probably get some signals that it's moving in that direction, but I certainly haven't heard anything to this point.
Okay, well, thank you for your answer, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nelson.
Thank you.
Hi. My question is referring to what you said about places being open for receiving. Would it be out of line when you're contacting an agent initially before you book a load to have him verify that both the pickup point and the delivery point are open? Some of the loads I get are 3PL loads, and a lot of times these guys are picking a load off a board, and they may not have the most information, but would it be out of line to ask them to verify that before you actually book the load?
Yeah, Gary, this is Joe. No, I don't think so. In fact, we're suggesting that agents do that on every load anyway, but I think if you could get that contact information, you may want to have it handy just for your own purposes to do it yourself, right? Because things can happen between pickup and delivery.
I understand.
I think it's a good idea to try to obtain that information.
I understand. Thank you.
Yes, thank y'all for being proactive and saying about if we get quarantined that you will help us out. I appreciate that. I've got a couple of things, though. Also, I'm due in my CALPS by the 1st of April, and I called LT last week, and he said, it's under 50 people. Well, now it's under 10, and every time I've been up to Jefferson, there's more than 10 people up there. So, I don't know what to do if I'm out and say I get hung out on the West Coast and I can't get back to do my CALPS. Are y'all going to shut me down? Also, the second thing is I was going to say, because of my payment history with my bank on my truck payment over the Christmas holidays, they called and they also sent a letter saying, I could skip a couple of payments in the winter, during the holiday season if I wanted to, and it wouldn't be a penalty or anything like that. Fortunately, I didn't have to do that. So that might be I just want to tell some of the guys, if they've got a good relationship with their lender, that they could call them and maybe do the same thing, that could put it on the back side of the loan or something. But that's my question about the CALPS. And I just got one more thing. It ain't really a gripe or something, but it's just disheartening to get on the load board sometimes and we see the same load with 10 different agents on there, and they're all cutting each other's throats. And I was a agent for a short time, and I was drilled. You can't do that because one agent's got this count, and you can't come in on that. Are y'all going to enforce that? Because it's very depressing for me. You just see it, and they cut it, and they cut it, and they cut it, and they cut it, and that's hurting us and y'all. And I wish you could just mandate. If you've got a account with Ryder 3PL or Snyder 3PL, one agent get that instead of just cutting the heck out of it on the same loads. And if y'all could help us out on that, it's just very depressing to see that. And thank y'all again. I'm thankful to be at Landstar, and I appreciate everything you do. But if you could help me out on these questions, I certainly would appreciate it.
Hey, Jeff, this is Rocco. I'll answer the question about cabs. We are keeping an eye on the limits in terms of gatherings, and we don't want to exceed those limits any more than you want to be involved with that. And if that's the case as yours comes due, we won't hang you out somewhere. Just reach out to the BCO Services Group, and they'll take care of that.
Okay, good. And about the different loads on different agents, can y'all sort of do anything about that, or have you thought about it, or is it just me?
Hi, Jeff. This is Al Reisman. How you doing?
Just fine, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so we address that every day, and we do our best to get with the agents that may have a load posted that looks similar to another. So as they come up, we are doing our best to manage that. So if you get in a situation where you see something, get a hold of us, and we'll dive into that. We do our best to not have the load posted multiple times rather. So just let us know, and we'll do our best to kind of manage that. Well,
I appreciate it, but I hope you can understand where we're coming from. I mean, if we could get it to that first load up there, it just helps Landstar and us, because I'm sure you get a percentage, I get a percentage. We're in this together as partners, and the agent also. So the only one that's hurting is you and I. The agent, I can see their part, because they don't get the load, they don't get nothing, so they can go in and cut it a nickel, cut it a dime, and it just keeps going. But it's not helping us out. And I just wish we had a system or some kind of rule, or that, hey, if you're dealing with this company, hey, pat yourself on the back. You got in with Snyder 3PL, or you got in with XPO, or you got in with so-and-so, and give it to them. Don't give it to 10 different people that can get on a load board and find loads. Thank you for your help. Thank you for being proactive, and I really appreciate y'all. Y'all do a wonderful job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Howdy, everybody. The one gentleman already touched on the subject of dealing with your bank. If you're that tight, they don't want the trucks back. Deal with them, call them, discuss it, be honest, be open, be forefront. They will assist you. The other little comment I got, I'm ex-military. If you're not prepared to do your mission, which is to go out here and deliver freight, then that's on you. Stock up. People are skipping all the Army surplus stores. Yeah, combat rations aren't the best, but guess what? They got the calories and proteins you need to sustain yourself. If you need the camping gear, go to Camping World. Usually they're big enough. They got them 53-foot RVs. They'll let you go in if you call ahead. They got the biodegradable toilet paper that's fast dissolving. They got freeze-dried food that'll last for 5 years. It's not that hard to keep your equipment stocked and ready. Get that couple extra gallons of oil and antifreeze at Walmart. Nobody's buying it. And just be more prepared. And now that everybody's worried about their health, this is a good time to mention go out and run 5K with me. I'll meet you on the track this afternoon. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thanks for the comment, James, and thanks for your service too.
Hi, yes, good afternoon. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Excellent. Yes, I just had a concern. Pretty much a lot of questions have been answered, but I had a concern with a shipper that I went to recently where they're providing fire retardant clothing and face masks and stuff like that, to protect the driver, but at the same time they weren't doing any form of disinfecting of the equipment while they're handing it to you. It's like they have their disinfectants and their wipes and everything and their gloves to keep them safe, but they're giving us clothes and masks that everybody else that's coming there is using and not disinfecting the equipment. So is Landstar sending out any emails to any of these shippers to say, hey, make sure you provide our drivers with, disinfected equipment or means of disinfecting themselves before and after they use this equipment?
If we would, if we're made aware of a situation like that, we would definitely address it both with the agent and with the customer as well. But yeah, it's really obviously dependent upon the BCO. If he wants to accept that kind of load up front, hopefully the agent lets you know that was what's going to be required when you got to the shipper or consignee. But yeah, in situations like that, if you let us know, we can address it and ask what that customer is doing to to prevent any kind of contamination or any germs from spreading.
Okay. Yeah, it's that shipper in Deer Park, Texas, the Occidental Chemical Corporation out there. They have stuff prepared for themselves, but I don't really see anything geared towards the drivers that are coming in to pick up and, deliver loads and stuff.
Yeah, we get it. Definitely. If you let us know, we'll always check into something like that for you.
Alrighty, sounds good. Well, that's one of them, so I don't know if there's any other customers out there you need to be aware of, but if I definitely come across any others, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, and you guys have a good day and be safe.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Been supporting and building long-term business relationships with shippers and carriers for a few decades now. Something that hasn't been discussed, and I have not seen it, was a recent publishing in the MedRxiv depository. They talk about copper surfaces can still hold the virus for 4 hours, cardboard up to 24 hours, and plastic for up to 2 to 3 days. Now, taking all of this into consideration, and you look at asymptomatic carriers and pre-symptomatic carriers of the virus. These drivers are out there in the environment going into warehouses and all of that. These guys do not know that they have this virus, yet they're touching this cardboard. And I'm looking at the short haul lanes, not the long haul, because, on the plastic it holds out to 3 to 4 days, and then on the cardboard 24 hours. So in theory, you could pick up something like in Jersey and go to New York State and have it over there. The thing is have you ever thought about the accessorials with the driver assist, and how are you going to protect these drivers in case this does happen? It's another step to take, to look out after the drivers and try to protect them and keep them safe. So it's just something to think about that I thought I'd bring to your attention.
Good information, Jeff. Good comment. Something we'll have to reflect on, but appreciate the concern and also the information.
You're welcome. You guys have a great day. Keep safe, all right?
All right. Thanks, man.
That was the last call. Joe, closing comments?
I just reiterate what kind of my comments at the beginning there. Just, we're going to see customers that need to deploy or have deployed different procedures at their facilities, and just we need to try to be accommodating, but I think the key to doing this successfully is agents working with BCOs to make sure that we leave no stone unturned as far as a complete and accurate dispatch, and working together to resolve and communicate differences that come up, and so we're all operating on the same sheet of music. And the same thing with any closures that we come across. Try to validate it up front, make sure the agents and BCOs are working together to validate that shippers are open and consignees are open. And when we run into an unfortunate circumstance, work together, involve customer service to try to resolve if you need to, and We'll involve the salespeople as appropriate if we need to work with a customer to make any necessary change. And beyond that, I thought it was a great call, Mike, and we really covered a lot of ground.
Yep, I agree. Jim Gattoni?
Yeah, this is quite an unprecedented developments over the last week or two, what's going on with the virus. I would say things are rapidly changing, whether it's business decisions or government regulations coming down on us. It's going to continue over the next couple of weeks to months. To stay aware of what's going on, just take a look on Landstar Online. We'll put as much information out there as we can as these things develop, and just try and let you know how it might impact your livelihoods for the next couple of weeks or months. Again, but we all think that this is maybe a 8 to 12 week at a minimum cycle we're in right now, and we're just going to have to wait it out and see what happens. But we're going to be out here to communicate everything we know.
Yep, good comments. And also, I do want to let everybody know, those of you who were queued up to ask a question, we do actually have your phone number and your name, so we will be reaching out to you to see if we can answer your question. And then just next month, depending upon how things are going, hopefully we're a little further along, but depending upon the situation, we will make notifications out on Landstar Online on what we will actually be doing on the Safety Thursday call, whether we'll actually be getting back to a safety topic or we will continue to talk about the coronavirus. So just stay tuned and check Landstar Online. And with that, be safe, everyone. Take care.
This concludes today's conference. All participants may disconnect at this time. Thank you for your participation in today's call.
Hope you guys enjoyed the question part of the conference call, and hopefully the information and the rest of the fellow BCOs asked and the answer that was given was informal. Don't forget to subscribe to my page. Thumbs up, and catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace, and be safe out there.